are live. We are live. Just like that. Okay. Another episode of the Things I Wish I Knew About Money podcast.
Hey.
I'm your host, Camille Smith, and I have a lovely guest with me today. And you know I have to give you the fire.
Hey.
Hold on, let me bring you the fire. Yes. So it is episode 77. Wow.
Ooh,
Wow.
Double sevens. That's double good luck.
Ooh, especially on this lovely Saturday where the weather is nice. I wanted to have a nice bright top on just to represent how we're feeling. We're feeling good. We're feeling great. And you're representing the blackness.
Blackity black. Black all day. Black girl magic. Earrings.
Hey.
Black girls rock. Black girls rock. Yes.
We do. My gosh. And it's an honor to have you here with me.
It's such an honor to be here. I'm really excited for this.
Right. And you know what? Before I start, Sharon, I remember it like it was yesterday, 2017. Yes. And it was my first workshop. And I was so nervous. And I was like, I don't know how many people are going to be here. I hope, it's going to be a hit and all that great stuff. And then there was a lovely woman that came. And you came with your phone, and you're like, I'm here representing. Tell us about this workshop. And mind you, I was nervous.
And then I pushed my phone up in your face with my selfie stick.
I felt like I was in like an interview, and I was like, oh my gosh, I'm just trying to be, this is Camille from Fitness IQ and just all that good stuff. And ever since then, I've seen you everywhere. So I was like, okay, if we're in the same spot, or like in the same event, I know I'm in the right place because
all right. I'm everywhere. The Black City Pulse, they call me.
Exactly. And I'm pretty sure people are going to be like, what do you mean? Well, if you haven't seen this lovely face, that means you've been sleeping under a rock.
Oh, you're the best. Thank you.
Right? So Sharon, I just want, just to let the folks know, the ladies and gentlemen, let them know who you are, because just in case they don't know, even though they should know. God.
Yes, just in case they do. And your audience is Canadians, and I imagine, in this beautiful, powerful day of the net, it's probably broadcasting all over the Caribbean, the diaspora and stuff. So, I mean, there's a good chance that people don't know who I am, but I'm Sharon Fletcher, or as I affectionately refer to myself, it's a girl. Sharon Fletcher from Toronto, Canada. I was born at St. Michael's Hospital, fun fact, downtown, big up St. Michael's Hospital. And I'm first generation Canadian to Jamaican parents. Horn, please.
Done no.
Yes. And like most first generation Caribbean people, when they come to Canada, I was raised in Little Jamaica, down at Oakwood and Vaughan. So big up 450 Winona Drive.
What?
And then for most of my life, hey, Americans always repping their block. I'm repping my block.
Exactly. And I'm here for it all.
Yeah. So thank you. So yeah. So after being raised in Little Jamaica, which is the foundation for many of us, my parents moved further east to Scarborough, and that's where I've been most of my life. So if y'all don't know, you better know Scarborough, now referred to the Greater Toronto Area, home of Cardinal Official,
Hey.
Deborah Cox.
Hey.
You want me to bring you Maestro Fresh West, poet laureate Randall Ajay, amazing, powerful brother doing spoken word, Dwayne Morgan, and the list goes on. And me, your girl, I'm from Scarborough.
Yay.
And last but not least, I'm a mom. I'm a mom to an adult daughter. I inherited an amazing son-in-law last summer.
Amazing.
And oh gosh, this is okay. Yes.
Don't be nervous on me now.
Yes, I'm a community advocate. In my background, I was part of my union and doing work for employment equity and diversity when I was a government employee, and now I've been deemed a community influencer, the co-founder of the community platform Blacks Inspire. Nice.
See, and I'm pretty sure when people see the lovely like thumbnail, they'll be like, wait, what's going to happen? Because you told me, I feel special. You told me I had first dibs.
Yes. No, absolutely. I guess the piece I should rewind back to a little bit is what exactly is Blacks Inspire? As you said, you met me in an event. I was there with a selfie stick. I had my phone, and I'm like, I'm going to interview and ask you these questions. So yes, Blacks Inspire is a platform on social media. It's on Facebook, LinkedIn, and Instagram predominantly. Where it was a space for us to house our Black stories and a place where Black-owned businesses could promote their events and entrepreneurs and our local talent. And it grew to being a space not only for Black Canadians, but also internationally. Okay. And my day job at the time was I'm a federal public, I got to stop saying I am. Past tense, I was a federal public servant. For 21 years, and I recently retired myself. And then you heard it here first with Camille here, that I retired myself last November, and so now I am a full-fledged, no holds barred, all in entrepreneur.
That's amazing. And how do you, because even though you're first generation Canadian, and like what usually happens is like, our parents usually say, get a job, retire, and then you have your pension and all that stuff. But you decided to take like a little, you pivot a little. You're just like, actually, I don't want to do that.
I did a big rebellion because the goal for our well-intended parents, coming from maybe not such a stable financial background, is they want their children to be financially stable and sound and safe, and what that looks like. And, many of our parents bought the narrative around, a better life in North America and what that looks like. And if you have your education and you work your job, from 18 till almost the day you die, you'll be good. I wasn't good. I wasn't good. I was experiencing some, I don't know why they call them microaggressions, because there's nothing micro about it. They're macro. Right? In the workplace. And at the time, doing Blacks Inspire, being out in my community, sharing our stories, and helping to spend and circulate the Black dollar was what was really feeding my spirit and saving my life mentally, emotionally, in many ways. And so when I was considering this isn't something I did lightly. I really, went back and forth in my mind with it for about 2 years.
Yeah.
And I didn't tell my parents until after I quit because I knew they would talk me out of it. You know, I knew they'd talk me out of it.
Yeah.
There was this small window where I could take all my pension, all my pensionable earnings. I needed to have 20 years of service and be under the age of 50.
Okay.
And so I did it
Black
with
don't
some,
crack.
so with some careful planning,
Mhm.
you know, and a lot of, you know, consultation with the compensation department, trusted accountants, friends, that I said, you know, I have this passion that is becoming, you know, a profitable business. And so with that, I was like, I could have a reset, taking all my money and taking on the responsibility of managing it myself.
Yeah.
But, between you and I thought, you know, I gave my 21 years and I'm taking all of my pensionable earnings. Thank you very much. And any interest that can be gained on that. And I'm taking that with me.
Exactly.
And I chose freedom.
Freedom.
Freedom. Yeah, let me loose. Whatever it is Beyonce sings. Yeah, I chose freedom to live my life on my terms, to spend my time how I'd like, to do business with whom I choose, and have that flexibility and that type of lifestyle, the responsibility and the flexibility that comes with it.
Whew. My God, because it's funny you say that, because we do have a lot of flexibility. And then there's sometimes when people think like, oh, when it comes to entrepreneur, like 9-to-5ers, we're always like, always like, oh, I guess you guys have so much time on your hands now. We're like,
no,
that's not even the case.
Oh, let me tell you, it's interesting you say that, because I feel that over the last 5 years, from when, you know, Blacks Inspire started off as just a Facebook group and a space, like I say, where, you know, we could tell our stories and leverage the power of social media to magnify and really get our stories and marketing our businesses out there, to now, the last 5 years, my mentality, the mentality I had as someone who sits at a desk 9 to 5 and can somewhat passively be guaranteed my income every 2 weeks, it's very different than this woman who has to go out and hunt for her food. And if I don't close deals, and if I don't make those connections, I will not eat. And I kid you not, I wake up sometimes in some cold sweats and go, what did I do?
Oh, no.
Because I got rid of my safety net, you know. I got rid of my safety net before I could be like, I'm going to show up at this event and, you know, I'm going to showcase you. And I'm going to do all this good for the community because my main source of income and my bread and butter was covered. True. And I probably took risks and did things that people who, you know, do this as their main source of income would just not do, you know? However, what I will say is, considering that this is not something I went to school for, I just discovered my passion, and through sweat equity, just in it and passionately on social media and studying it day to day, I feel like I had to pay my dues and kind of prove that I was good at this and demonstrate the results and really consistently be out there. Like you said, I was everywhere. Weekends and evenings and just, you know, pounding the pavement. And there were times where I even kind of thought, maybe I'm not doing this so smart. Maybe, you know, people would be like, how much money do you make? How much money do you make? You know? But I'll tell you this, the spaces that I get to be in now, and the people who are calling me to ask me if I could help them, it definitely paid off to be approaching this from humility and from a place of service than being so focused on the money.
Okay. I like that. I like how you just said that, because, and I'm guessing because it took you so many years and people recognizing your face, because remember, if I didn't see you at an event, I'm like,
Things not going, yes.
But once I saw you, and it's funny because whenever I would see like Kurt, I would see you, and then you guys knew each other, and I'm like, okay, there's people that know people, and it's important to like keep like build a relationship and a bond and everything and network, so you'd be able to, you know, have that core. And just we've been going on for years. Ever since then we've been
stayed
connecting. You have a YouTube, and I was going on there, I was like, yeah. And just I like how you provide a service and it's not about the money, and you also build a relationship and show support as well. And so I want to like, you know, congratulate you. And I think the reason why people are now calling you is because you've been consistent for a long time, even when you had your safety net.
Yeah.
And without that safety net,
girl,
how do you think you would have been?
So I actually want to step back a little bit and again talk about our mutual friend Kurt Henry, who's very humble, and he'll be dying hearing his voice right now. But so I met Kurt at a networking event.
Yes.
And Kurt he was the president of the Lions Circle, and very much a heart for community, a heart of service. And he gets involved with many different organizations and leverages his skills and abilities, which is numbers and accounting, and helps people get organized and get going. And I would say Kurt's here for a good time, not a long time, meaning I think he sets up a foundation, makes sure you're good, and then he, you know, keeps it flowing. So what I will say about Kurt is, yes, he was doing some programs to help educate the community on finance, which is so important, especially in the Black community, because it's not always something that's taught to us from our parents. And, you know, schools don't really teach it, you know, in general, they don't focus on it enough in public schools. But of course, that disproportionately, detrimentally impacts the Black community more so. And what I want to big up Kurt to say that he helped me get my first paid gig, which really boosted my confidence. Nice. And so I want to thank him for that, for doing that, for having that faith in me and trusting me with that brand of that organization, to be able to do the live streaming and be the social media correspondent of that event. And that's kind of partly how that was born. I created this title of social media correspondent. Like, I don't know who a social media correspondent is, but now I know I am. Because you have your traditional media. Yes. And the only way I could carve a space for myself, because like I said, I didn't go to school for journalism. I didn't go to school. I don't have that traditional pathway and accreditation. So I just said, I'll be your social media correspondent. You know, if I can't be your, you know, regular television correspondent.
Yeah. But it you know what's the great thing is, because like what they always say, Instagram wasn't here 20 years ago. Right. Facebook wasn't here 20 years ago. I think MySpace.
Yeah, right.
I'm aging myself. But with that, like, of course, 20 years ago, there was no social media coordinator. So right. What's the best way? And just like going full speed ahead, going into it, so people will be able to like, ooh, like, okay, Sharon Fletcher, social media corresponder. Okay, we get it, and you're like the as we said, CP24.
Yeah, I'm like kind of my own CP24 or city policy. Remember the slogan at the end of the new city policy, everywhere. And like yourself, people would say, I see you everywhere. Like they'd literally be like, didn't I just see you last week? Or didn't I just see you at the ball? And didn't I just see you at the pop-up market, the farmer's market? And didn't I just see you at the Harry Jerome Awards? Like, I see you everywhere. Literally. And the main reason actually for that was that I grew up seeing on traditional television, I'm gonna pick up the Afro Global TV, and Caribbean Vibrations. by Alan Arthur, Afro Global TV with Patricia and her husband on Omni, channel, which is like a local cable channel. But other than them, I wasn't really getting to see us like content about Black Canadian identity, which is unique to its own. Many times we are impacted by what's happening in Black American culture. But as you know, Black Canadians, our experience is a little different from theirs. And we have our own unique identity. We have things on and pop in here, but the media wasn't really highlighting it as much. And I thought, I'd like that when my daughter is referencing something, that she's referencing some Black Canadians as opposed to just Black Americans. And then on the not so good side, that many times our youth that are looking for role models and something to be excited about, they're choosing not the best sides of American culture to grasp onto and to mimic that. And so some of their challenges are spilling into our community. And so I thought we need some place where we could see some positive stories and some things that's actually a little more true of my lived experience, because my Jamaican family is very proper, prim and proper people. You go to work, you don't get involved in, trouble, you know what I mean? And, swearing was a big deal in my family. We don't swear, we don't smoke. Like, I'm used to conservative Caribbean people, but I wasn't seeing that reflected to me in the media. The people I'm breaking bread with and hanging out with, like yourself, who I'm seeing every week, and I'm not seeing that image in any form of media. So
you decided to create it.
Yeah. It's kind of crazy when I really think about it, that I was like, I'm tired of this.
Yeah, that's actually amazing, because that's how I felt about personal finance. Like, when we ever heard about, the Roth IRA and the 401k, and I'm like, hold on,
yes,
that means what? Oh, RSP is okay, the tax-free savings account. And it was getting to the point where, like, well, I don't hear anyone talking about like Canadian personal finance, so like I'm gonna make it myself as well. So
and even those who are speaking about Canadian finance, they may not get our audience with us and our attention.
Exactly.
Because they may be speaking in a way that's not like everyday relatable, and so it's nice to see someone who looks like you and kind of speaks to and makes references to your everyday way that you might do things, places where you would shop and things like that, to really bring the experience home to us and make it more impactful. So yeah, that's right. And that's why, again, when I saw what you and Kurt and there was another Keith was doing, Keith, Kurt, and yourself.
Darn it.
I think that was it. Yeah.
No, there's one more. No.
Casey,
yes.
Casey, yes. When I saw what you guys were doing,
yes,
I thought this is dynamic, and I want to share that, because there's the perception that we're always spending money and that our community is not concerned with money, and that's not true. We're very concerned with money. The susu, the partner that's been passed down from great grandmother to grandmother and on, that's where we get that from, where we know we need to save some money for a rainy day.
Correct.
And we figure out how to do that, and the importance of that.
And then,
especially if you're starting a business.
Exactly. Especially when, like, and I've talked about the susu or partner, and I like the concept of saving, but then with Kurt, his mind frame is like, okay, now that you saved, what else are you doing with that money?
Right.
Are you gonna make that money work for you, or are you gonna just watch it? And that's
take it to the next level.
Exactly. That's when it comes to like take it to that level and watching it grow. And I feel like, you see how I'm gonna go back to your safety net. When you switch from employment to entrepreneurship, were you able to, like, okay, I have this one stream of income, but I want a second stream. and I want another one and another one. Were you able to pivot were you able to smoothly pivot to another stream of income?
Right. You know, my 9 to 5 mindset, I used to think in order to make extra money, I got to get another job. So I have in the past had a full-time job and then worked at like a call center. I went back to my roots before I had landed my government job, because that's what I knew how to do.
Yeah.
And as I started to get in the community and I was on the quest of, I want to see my community more empowered economically, it helped me to learn, hey, there's different ways of maximizing your time and your money.
Exactly. Yes.
And so this passion of, hey, I was going to be at this event anyways, let me showcase where I am, and then seeing the excitement and then people showing me that it had value. I was like, I should charge for this. This is marketing. This is marketing. This is driving traffic and customers and clients to someone, or even better, this is bringing a lot of attention to an issue that needs to be discussed, or something we need to be informed about, so that we can, be more active participants in our lives and our political system, or whatever the case may be. And so I realized that it was draining to try to be trading time for money, full-time job, and then a part-time job. And then when can I actually do something that I love? And by the time I'm taxed on it all, that money that I was trying to create part-time, that, yeah, I could put that down on the Visa bill, but in the bigger scheme of things, I just worked to pay more taxes. It was crazy. So as I started to move around mortgage brokers and financial advisors and accountants like Mr. Henry, and financial savvy people like yourself, Miss Camille Fitness, I really started to understand much better that it's only one of two things. I either have to bring in more money, or I have to cut down my expenditure.
Ooh. You know how many times I say that to people?
Well, I learned it from you. When you said it, and in that workshop, I was like, she talking to me? Who told her about me? Delayed gratification and all that stuff. Your girl loved to go eat a nice meal in a nice fancy restaurant. Your girl loves it. This weather, there's a patio and a glass of wine with my name on it, with some nice appetizers. But now I'll be discussing business, and that will be a business meeting, and that will be a business expense. Yeah, Sharon doesn't have just dinners for the sake of having dinner anymore. I mean, sure, I do in my yard, but when I'm out there spending money,
you have to be wise.
Yeah, we better be having, as my friend would say, we better be having 6- and 7-figure conversations.
Woo. I
like that. Don't use 6- and 7-figure conversations. I'm like, yes, we will.
And I'm it's an honor that you say, you're like, no, I remember when you said it to me. And that's why I like to push for people, is to like, hey, we can get out of a certain situation, but you have to see how your numbers are doing. And it's like you said, it's either I have to make more or I have to spend less. And because I feel like because you're more into like social media than I am, I try and I'm like, I have to do TikTok, I have to do Instagram, I have to do WhatsApp, I have to do Facebook, I have to do all this, like, this is too much.
It can seem like a lot. And you're doing fantastic, having the podcast and also having it stream on YouTube, because this will be content you can repurpose and have this going all week long. I'm proud of you. You're doing fantastic. But I hear you. I mean, but I'm glad that you recognize, first of all, that marketing has to be a component of your business. That's so key, because that was the piece that has been missing, is people invest all this time in the product, and that makes sense, but they don't account for, I gotta let people know about it. If a tree drops in the forest, that's saying did it fall? Did it, if nobody heard it? And
Exactly.
that's how social media marketing and marketing in general works, that you have this amazing product, or you have this valuable information, life-changing information about finance and how we can adjust our attitude and our mindset and literally change your quality of life. But if you're not letting people know, hey, I'm going to be talking to someone each week, and you're going to get some gems and nuggets that could change your life. If you don't put it out there,
no one's gonna know.
Yeah,
it's true. And I try. So I guess, and I love that you said it already. So I guess I'm gonna ask like another like advice that you would give entrepreneurs, because I know marketing is very important.
marketing is key. It almost doesn't, having a business without marketing, and especially some form of social media marketing, I'm not saying take on the whole giant of it all, but some form of social media presence. Having a business without that is like having a nice Tesla without its engine.
Yeah.
It's useless. It's pretty. And you can look at it, you could maybe moggle and pose in it, but you're not getting anywhere.
It's like posing up in it, and
right?
That's
you can
true.
take pictures, you make great Instagram pics, but
but the marketing is key, and also knowing where your money is going.
Yeah.
Because as and I'm pretty sure people are wondering what's with the title, but we had a little joke with each other.
Yes. Let's get into it.
Because finances is important.
When I was listening to your the show with you and Kurt talking about the different median levels of finances and where we're at, and I remember Kurt's response was, 0 to 500,000, so you can't even start at negative. And when he said that, it really made my ears perk up, because I'm like, that's right, most people are in debt. I don't know what the stats is, but most North Americans have credit card debt and some form of debt, be it university, college tuition debt, but most people are in some sort of debt, especially if they own a home. So if this medium of wealth and this gauge of wealth and success is starting from 0 to 500,000, if you're in debt, you're not even on the radar. So I said, you know what? According to this, then, most of us are poor. We can't even afford the OR. We're not poor, we're poor. We're too poor to afford to be poor. We're too broke to afford to be broke. Right?
Oh my gosh. Right?
And so again, when you're taking a leap of faith, like to go on your own and be an entrepreneur, this is why I say that, yes, there are grants and stuff out there, but I think there does require some planning.
Yes.
And when I retired myself, or when I fired the federal public service, so to speak, I actually gave myself a reset, because I would be getting a lump sum of money, but of course I have to be wise with it. And a portion of it is locked away. Thank God, because they know people would go off to Jamaica, and Stella got her groove on, and we would not see the money again, right?
So it's a good thing they do lock it, because I know some people are like, why are they trying to lock my money away? What if I want it all? What is this 4%? I'm like, no,
thank God they locked it away, because we'd reach 65 and be like, I need to be a Walmart greeter. And not to say there's anything wrong with that, but I'm just saying at 65, your knees are hurting, your back's hurting. That's not what you want to be doing. You've worked so hard, you want to not have financial concerns, and you want to be, taking it easy kind of thing. So I'm really excited and happy for the fact of meeting people like yourself and Kurt, and some people who are successful, in the community that I've met, like, Michael Leachin and Mr. Dragon's Den, Mr. Wes Hall, in my being out and about in the community, showcasing stories and Black excellence and Black talent, that it's been amazing to be around these people, interview them, speak to them, because it really changed my mindset. When you work for yourself, there's no cap to the amount of money you make. You are the one who will be capping how much money you make. It's all in your mindset. Whereas when you work for someone, they determine how much money you make. You can't make more than what they're going to pay you.
Exactly. That's true. And I think there's a post that I always see around where it's like, oh, if you're an engineer, you can make this much. If you're a lawyer, you can make this, doctor. And there's a business owner and it says unlimited. And I'm
That's
like,
right. Yeah.
I need to get to this unlimited spot.
That's right. And I'm not going to, and now the caveat I want to say, or the disclaimer, is I'm not knocking people in those professions, not at all, because we can't all be doctors, because then we won't have nurses and we won't have people in construction. We won't have, entrepreneurs that open up those lovely local stores that we love to, frequent. But what I am saying is that it's good to open our minds up and have those options, because someone who apprentices, let's say, in construction and works for a construction company can then be his own boss and open his own construction company. So that's all I'm saying. Someone, a lawyer who, again, I believe they have to do articling, right? Before they get complete their bar exam and degree. They do articling, they work under another law firm.
Yeah.
Maybe they make partner, but they can also open up their own law firm. So essentially they are entrepreneurs themselves. They are their own boss. So there's a stream of having that ability to be empowered to how much money you can make in any stream, in any talent that you are gifted with.
That is very true. That's why it's very important to have a certain skill that helps you level up throughout your years.
Yeah.
And I want to go back because the Walmart greeter. Oh my gosh. I'm not dogging anyone.
No, I hear you.
I remember seeing a post where it was and it broke my heart. It was like a line with seniors having a form of like employment to go back to work, or like getting like pension or something. Once I find the post, I have to post it on. But it made me so sad because like, had they prepared themselves and not think like, oh, we could be dead tomorrow, But like, look, 30 years later, look at that. So it's ideal, like, and everyone has that mentality right now, that instant gratification. And like, I just want you to delay just a little bit longer and to take in consideration about like your future, and not even yourself, but the next generation. Like when you have children and children's like, yeah, you want to have a legacy. Like, I mean, that's what I'm striving for.
This incredible time that we live in, especially post-pandemic, as well, at least we're able to be out and things are not closed down. Maybe the pandemic's not completely over, but I think that time when we were locked in our homes and life had to slow down, we had lots of time to think. We had time to think about, do I still like this person who lives in this house with me? We had time to look at our children like, this Pitney doesn't listen. This Pitney really doesn't listen. No wonder the teacher is telling me, I used to think the teacher didn't know what they were talking about. Like we've had a lot of time to do a lot of self-reflection and looking inwards and also reinvent what career and how we make money can look.
Yes.
And
some
traditional ways of making money, it's like, it's being revolutionized. It's being blown out of the water. There are young people out there being able to creatively express themselves and earn a living. And before, society didn't really support creatives in that way. And now, my daughter's generation and the generation coming up to that recognizes that I can be good at something, enjoy it, and make money.
Yeah.
And there's freedom in that. It comes with responsibility too. It comes with discipline, but it's a real mind shift. Yeah, you have to shift your mindset and your way of thinking. I'm a person who has always loved personal development. I'll toss some names around. People have read Rich Dad, Poor Dad, Think and Grow Rich. I like also Louise Hay, who talks about the link between your mind, body, and spirit, and ailments, and how your mindset impacts your health, as well as how you can achieve what you want out of life. So my mindset, the more I was enjoying what I was doing, and receiving confirmation through people in the community saying, Sharon, I love what you're doing. Keep doing it.
Yeah.
And finding value in that helped me to make the shift from, I can let go of this really false sense of security, because there's no such thing as a secure job. Not even government jobs are secure anymore. They hire people on contract. Once upon a time when I was being hired, you did a year probation and you were permanent.
Yes.
And they don't even do that anymore. So if you're going to do something and you're going to spend your time somewhere, really evaluate how you want to spend that time, and really consider that you could have it all. You can have your creative outlet.
Yes.
Study and respect it like a craft. Develop it. Be consistent with it. And when people find value in it, they'll pay you.
They do. And then they do. I'm like, they do. And once you show how, when you put respect in yourself and how valuable you are, it draws more to them. And I think the lovely thing I love mostly is word of mouth.
Oh, yes. Yes. I mean, your best referrals and your best testimonials will be someone saying how much they loved what you did. I mean, think about it. A certain movie comes out, you're like, oh my gosh, God, you got to see that movie.
True.
No one gave me a referral code to do that. Nobody's, breaking me off any money to say, I loved, that steak at that place. You got to taste that, vegan, whatever. The average person isn't getting compensated for doing that. It's something we do naturally. Correct. And so you said something that really inspired a thought for me, which is the concept of branding. Your brand is you. Your brand is how you interact with people. Your brand is how seriously you take what you're doing, how you show up to things, and how you present yourself. So branding isn't just a flashy word for marketing purposes. Your brand, you are your brand. Whether you work for someone, your reputation in the workplace of how well you do something, right, is your brand. When I see you at a workshop and you're presenting your information and you look like you're passionate about it and you've done the research and you're sharing valuable information, that's your brand. And I'm going to tell somebody, oh my gosh, I was just this place on the weekend and this beautiful young sister looking like a teenager, but the wisdom of Maya Angelou was saying all the stuff in a male-dominated space. She was dropping gems about finance. That's your brand. Your youthfulness, your exuberance, yet professionalism, yet confidence. That's the Camille brand for me. That's fitness. So
making me
brand
blush.
Is so important. Your brand is so important. And so how that translates to social media. I want people to see social media as not this external thing that is intimidating. It is really just a virtual handshake. Is it really just extending that personal conversation and getting to know you, but on the platform of social media? So that's why you can't just do a one and done video, because when I get to know you, we have one conversation, it's great, but if I don't talk to you again for 3 or 4 weeks, but how do you bond and connect? So if I talk to you regularly, when I call my friend and I talk to my friend on the phone. So if you do a video once a week, I'm giving you guys a little tip, a video once a week minimum, you're building your relationship. People are getting to know you. They feel like they know you. You know, I am now known for being in the community and talking about the latest, greatest, what's happening in the GTA and potentially wherever else I go. I was in Jamaica in November and sharing the community my family comes from and sharing a little bit of what's called Nine Night when my uncle passed away, but showcasing Jamaica in a way other than what we're used to seeing in mainstream media. I'm showing a middle-class family, a hardworking family, mourning somebody they love, but celebrating life and something we can all connect to. So that's the thing. It's the point of social media is just another tool, another medium for accessing relationships. And if you see it as you're building a friend one by one, you may be talking to thousands, but talk to each person as if you're talking to one person. That's how you're building your relationship.
I love that. I actually, hold on, let me do the soundboard because because that is very true. I like how when you said that you went to Jamaica and you wanted to show a different side of Jamaica, because look how many times people say, oh my gosh, isn't Jamaica so dangerous?
Isn't it so violent? And isn't everywhere?
Exactly. Like there's an area in Scarborough where you can, there was a shooting the other day and I was just like, oh, it was there. I mean, it depends where you're walking around, right? But we do want to show the positivity side of Blacks, whether it's in Canada, the States, the Caribbean, because
the continent, or motherland.
Exactly, motherland and all that great stuff, because there's so much beauty. I see, I don't know if you follow her, Rennie. She's in Rwanda right now, and my gosh, how it's so beautiful. And I'm like, wow, we don't see this often enough to see how beautiful like the other places are. And
someone recently, sorry, I didn't mean to cut you. Someone recently sent me an article saying how Rwanda is like such a thriving city right now. And the real estate is popping off and all this stuff. And I love when they show Africa, countries within the continent of Africa, and how it looks. They're modern cities, right?
Yes.
We're so used to seeing these pot-bellied children with flies around them and all that. And that's actually, you know, not what Africa looks like downtown Toronto, you know? And of course they have their rural areas, but they also have thriving cities. And so again, it is so important to be able to control the narrative about your people, the storytelling about your people. Storytelling is powerful. The person who controls the storytelling pretty much rules the world. And what I love about social media and what gets me excited about social media is that to me, it's a leveling playing field, because if you don't have the money, the resources, or even the connections to get into traditional media and all that it takes to have a studio and the CRTC regulations and you can get on social media and share your truth. You can share your story. And I'm extremely a fan of live streaming because it is live, it's imperfect, it's authentic, it's right there. And quite frankly, for me, it's easier because I don't got to edit it. When I hit post, it is done. You know what I mean? And so that's why I love the power of live streaming.
Exactly.
It's seeing you, it's real time and it's a real moment. When I'm tasting that food, my face, I cannot play poker. And every time I'm like, please, Lord, let this man or this woman's food taste good, because if it doesn't, I'll be like, oh, that's interesting, which I've never said, thank God. The day, that's interesting.
Yeah.
But
so I know, ladies and gentlemen, we know.
Now you know, but everything I've tasted, because I'm a foodie, and our community does wonderful, amazing, whether it's food, art, sports, finance, technology. They do such amazing things. And I love being the catalyst to help showcase that.
And you're doing it very, very amazing in my eyes. And I'm trying. Is there, so I know you network, you market, you do live things to show everything, and you make a narrative. You choose the narrative that you want to show that people haven't shown in the world, which is, you know how that goes. But do you also have like, do you have someone that you look? No, that was the wrong way. Do you have like a mentor or coach or someone you look like admire or get inspired from as well?
Okay. No, that's a great question. So, you know, in the 80s, I grew up on, like, as a teenager, I just loved Oprah Winfrey. And interestingly enough, when, you know, back then I used to be a more of a plus size woman, and people would even say I kind of looked like her, and I was like, really? But I admired Oprah, the way she told a story, the way she showcased people, and the way she informed the public about different ways of thinking to improve their lives. So that's really one of my biggest inspirations is Oprah Winfrey, and the way that she used her platform to showcase people in their best light, and or to bring to people's attention a different way of thinking, a better way of living, and to optimize their living. So I think that's what I'm trying to do, aspire to do when I go around our community, and, you know, I'm there with my selfie stick and my smartphone.
I'm smiling because that would be my answer as well. I always remember, like, I wanted to inspire to be her as well. I'm like, you get a car, right? Or your debt's off, and all that good stuff from scholarships, not by my money.
Right. OPM, other people's money. I'm done with OPM. Or actually, Dr. George Fraser, well-respected businessman and professional networker in the United States, is another person I admire so much, who his emotional intelligence is just off the charts. You know, he really knows the power of human equity and relationships. And
he was at that event.
The ACBN symposium. Yes. Yeah. And Dr. George Fraser has a power networking conference, which, let me tell you, is like Wakanda of Black businesses. It's so amazing. So Dr. George Fraser, when I attended his power networking conference about 5 years ago, and actually it was Kurt Henry who told me about it. I attended that conference, and Dr. George Fraser says you could be a social entrepreneur and be profitable and make as much money as you want, so then you can have the funding to do the things you want to do in your community. Exactly. And so that's another, right now in this stage of life where I'm at, where I'm like no holds barred, all in entrepreneurship full time. My goal, and I think my responsibility, is to be the savviest businesswoman I can be, so that I can be the example. And so, like, what I've always done and continue to try to do, that I don't ask anybody to do anything that I'm not doing or that I haven't done, that I don't put a call to action or a request to the community to be or do anything that I am not already. And so, you know, we joke about Oprah, you get a car. And of course, it's smart to leverage other people's money. But I'd also at some point like to have so much money. I need to have the Sharon Fletcher Foundation to be generous to the community, but smartly avoid taxes and in a smart way. See, I want to make you proud of me. I knew if I said that, that would make you proud of me. Right?
I'm very proud because that is like, and it's funny because people are like, oh, these people, they're always donating, not paying taxes. I'm like, but think about it. They're still giving back.
They're giving in a smart way.
Yeah. And I don't see anything wrong with that,
I'm not
especially
mad
if
at
you're
it.
doing it from the bottom of your heart.
Yeah, I'm not
Regardless,
mad at it. It is a
right?
smart way to give.
Shucks.
Right? Because who do you want to get the funds? Your community and those who need it, or the systems that they don't really need it, and they're not necessarily always serving underserved communities, right?
Exactly.
So,
So it makes sense. Like
it
I'm not mad at it and stuff.
makes
And
dollars and cents. I know that was corny, but I saw it. I had to do it. It makes dollars and cents.
and so now that I know one of your goals in life, I love it. What are the things that you wish you knew before, when you didn't know as much as you know now?
Oh, girl. They say there's a saying that goes, youth is wasted on the young. Mm-hmm. And not that that's the case, but I mean, in terms of how I feel it is that if I had the know-how and the maturity and the self-discipline and self-restraint that I have now.
Yes.
When I was like grinding and working, 1.5, sometimes 2 jobs. Oh, so one of the things, I wanted to make sure that I give these because these are important. These are important. I wrote it down. So save money. First of all, yeah. So knowing what I know now, and I was able to, as I said, because of the way that I left my work and I got a lump sum, put money aside for my business. When I was working and trying to do my business part-time, and I just found that trying to take the little I was making and reinvest and do it that way, it is a slower process. And if you're not established yet, your business isn't set up to qualify for certain grants or even loans and things like that. So I think it just makes sense to kind of sock away. Like for me, I think if you sock away $5,000 because you should be marketing and you should pay for marketing, at some point invest in proper good quality marketing. I'm in social media marketing, and I had spent on proper marketing to market Blacks Inspire when we first started, and for trademarking and for incorporating and all those good things. So I think it's good to save money aside, that if that is your goal one day to have a business, you need startup capital. Okay. But then, now as an individual, where is it? Here. Okay.
You always want to make sure
practice delayed. Yes, here it is. Practice delayed gratification.
Yes.
Build up your self-love and self-worth so you don't seek external gratification and validation from material things. Loving yourself looks like not putting yourself in bad debt. That was a lot of junk there.
Hold on.
No, you need to unpack that.
Hold on.
It's a lot.
I need you to say that last one, because obviously with the pandemic and just life in general, a lot of people are trying to find ways to escape their reality. Soon they'll have metaverse. Right? That's another story. But what you just said kind of hit a chord, and I just want you to repeat it because I want people to hear that, because I think a lot of people are doing that. That, like, without having enough self-love and trying to pivot into something else to make them feel better, they get into bad debt. And that is a cycle we want to try to reverse or to get out of. Right.
So I said that to say, because I had time to think about it. Yeah. And I'm not going to beat up on myself, because we do better when we know better, right? So I don't want anybody else to beat up on themselves. But I tell you this, when I got my payout, it bun me, so tell. To have to put a chunk of that money towards the debts first. that I had gotten myself into. When I think about that money I could have put it towards,
True.
I that hurt.
True.
And I couldn't be upset with anybody but looking at myself in my reflection. There was nobody else. And I thought about the times when I tried to keep up with my friends in the 20s and go to the club, and you get a round of drinks and you get a round of drinks. That's not the Oprah that we were trying to mimic, you know?
No,
but at the time, I mean, yes, people have to have a degree of enjoyment. I mean, you're not just working to pay the bills, but I wish I had been more focused on a goal that was tied to my love of self and the life. I wish I had a clear picture of the life that I want to see for myself, or the career that I want to do that I have full enjoyment of. Because if I had that, I would have spent different. I would have gained good debt and not bad debt. You understand? And so that's why I say the part that you want me to repeat is loving yourself looks like not putting yourself in bad debt. And I specifically say bad debt. I'm not talking about investments like a home. I'm not talking about even investments if you invest in stocks and that, and you have no control over the market and it has its ups and downs. I'm talking about I drank all weekend and it is literally being flushed down the toilet. You know, I ate and overate whatever rich foods that I know in a week I'll be like, why did I eat that? It's going to make me gain weight. And I literally flushed that down the toilet too. I'm talking about, you know, just escapism and overindulging. I wish, like, for example, I love singing and I'm going to do singing lessons. Even if I just get on a karaoke stage and it makes me feel better about getting on a karaoke stage. But the point is, things where you're building up a skill or a gift or a craft or a passion, it's not a waste of money. Any investment in yourself, that's not a waste. But that stuff that I did on the weekend and trying to keep up with friends, and especially if I was a single parent, I had no business trying to keep up with single people, you know, buying drinks and rounds on the weekend because I didn't have those financial luxuries, you know? So, okay. So that was when, so don't blow so much money on entertainment and dining out. And another, did you have something?
No, I carry on.
All right.
Carry on, sorry.
And I actually used to be a bit snobby and bougie with it. Like, I remember meeting people who are like, no, I don't eat out. And I used to think, so like simple, like you don't eat sushi, you've not had foie gras, you know, and it's fine to have those things once you've like acquired a certain amount of success. And again, if I'm having 6 and 7 figure conversations over sushi and foie gras, that's different than I'm just now emptying out my pocket. You know, to the waiter and to, you know, the fancy establishment that is doing better than me. That's because I want to come across cultured and, you know, foolishness. Who am I doing that for? When I go home and I open up my Rogers bill, none of those people sitting at the table, right?
So
there's a saying that says that, you know, and I might not have this right, I don't know if you've heard it, like, you know, poor people waste their time impressing people, other people, you know, spending money.
I was thinking, yes.
But they don't know that, you know what I mean? And rich people, they don't do that. Or successful, wealthy people, they don't do that, right? So yeah, put yourself first, always, no matter how much money you're making. Oh, pay yourself first, no matter how much money you're making.
Yes.
That's an excellent habit. So whether you work at McDonald's, you know, so I know I'm going to a different age range. So I'm talking about, you know, our up and coming young people, you got a part-time job in the mall and a clothing store, pay yourself first into some savings, especially at that time in your life when you don't really have any other responsibilities. I mean, at that age, me and my friends, we're just blowing our money. I had, you know, was it a gold pair of hoop earrings, at least 2 pair. I'm trying to reference LL Cool J song. You know, like I had gold chains and gold, all this stupid gold as a teenager. And you know, bomber jackets and
Oh,
You
the bomber
know,
jackets. Woo.
my Jerry curl, that was a ridiculous price at the time. I mean, I had no one really there to mentor me and show me differently. So I'm saying to the young people, don't waste your money on that, whatever it is that you guys are into nowadays. And older persons, even though the bills are tight and it seems difficult, and whether you start doing it through your susu or partner, pay yourself first. Pay yourself first.
Even if it's $1, even if it's 5 or 10, and I say even if it's $1, because like we mentioned before with susu or partner, if you I know people find a way.
Yes,
with that.
They do.
They find a way. So you better find a way to pay yourself first. And then once you get that habit, it's a habit that you continue. It's like what they say,
21 days makes
yes,
new habit.
21 days and you continue a habit, right? So why not do that?
Every mickle make a muckle.
I remember the last time I seen that, I was drinking a cola champagne, a Grace. And you know how they had like the sayings in it?
Yes, yeah, in the inside the bottle cap. It's so cool, right?
I kind of kept them. That's kind of my little.
When I first discovered that, I was like, oh, there's something in there. I was like, this is so cool. Or what was another saying I was gonna say? The one I told you.
Coco?
one cocoa full basket. One cocoa full basket. So every little bit that you put away, it adds up and it adds up and adds up. And the next thing you know, I mean, people have saved for down payments on their home. I remember, you know, my 1 or 2 friends as teenagers who were disciplined and they went into their parents' partner. They would go half and half with their mom on a partner, and that's how they bought their first car. Wow. So, I mean, you start where you're at, right? And so if partner can help you until you're disciplined enough that you're, sorry, I'm messing with my shirt here. And if you could start even with partner, I guess, and my disclaimer is I'm not a financial advisor. We have Camille right here. But until you are disciplined to be able to put it in a vehicle where you could get more interest, at least you're getting into the habit. Wouldn't you agree?
Yeah. And as long as you get that habit and able to, I don't want to say, I want to say master, but I mean, sometimes
self-mastery.
Yeah, you know, sometimes we fall sometimes, but we got to pick ourselves up and like, oof, okay, that was a minute.
I'm so glad you said that. Yeah, because sometimes people be like, you're saving your money, and then all of a sudden you see that great dress that you want for the dance, and you're like, oh, forget it. I mean, I already dipped into it now, and they just throw the baby out with the bathwater, so to speak. They just give up on the whole thing, and you're right. It's like, no, don't do that. Just keep going.
And have a like you said before, what you wish is that you wish you had been more focused and had a goal.
Yeah.
And once you have a goal,
I think that's the thing, to be honest. If you don't have a goal, it's easier to deviate from what you're doing, whether it's building finance, building your business, which, that was something I want to mention, you know, to have a plan, have a business plan or a business map, something that you reference so that you don't get shiny syndrome and, you know, next thing you know, you're like, I'm a social media marketer who is now, you know, selling vacuums. How does that fit in with the plan? How does that fit in with the plan? If it doesn't fit in with the plan, no, we're not selling vacuums. Now, if you become an amazing social media marketer, and after you've perfected it, you want to now branch off into, now I'm an affiliate marketer. Sorry, I'm an affiliate. I'm doing affiliate marketing, and you know, I sell waist trainers and vacuums and blah blah blah. Then that's a whole other thing because it's still within the brand.
Yeah, it's like a sub branch or sub.
That's right. Yes.
And it works.
And it can work. But if a person doesn't brand properly, it just looks like that person's not very stable, or they're not very focused, or now you look like you're just scrambling and grasping at any little thing. And then if it doesn't look trustworthy, people aren't going to buy from you.
That's true.
A confused person doesn't buy. So
They're like, you do vacuum zen social media.
yeah. And not like, oh, you were amazing at one and you moved on to build your empire with another. It looks like, oh, you didn't trust the process enough, or you're not successful in that. And now you're scrambling to do other things. And that's what you don't want to look like.
Exactly.
And that's why consistency is king.
Key.
And king, queen. Like, guys, so I had one more, which is a fourth. I know you asked for three, but
No worry. No, but because I say them because this is things that people need to hear. And I love how it's the same answers constantly. So like when someone hears this, and they come to the 77th episode, they're like, okay, I need to get my together.
Right.
Because people been saying the same thing. I'm like, exactly.
And
say the fourth one.
in my years of wisdom here, I think if you can garner the wisdom without having to go through the heartache from somebody else's experience, take it. So
Take it.
the last thing I would say in the three things, now giving the fourth, because I'm the gift that keeps on giving. That's just how I roll. The three things, or the four things you wish you knew about personal finances, I would say trust in your abilities. You're smart, you're creative, you're personable, and the money will come. Work for yourself. Develop self-discipline to create a daily schedule and work for yourself. So I encourage people, no matter what walk of life, educational background, and even if you start working for someone, I think, really consider that after you've used all your skills and abilities to make somebody else rich, believe in yourself and know that what you could do so much more for yourself. I mean, in later years, that's why they start to consult, right? Because if you've been doing something for 20 years, the same thing for 20 years, chances are you're really, really good at it.
Exactly.
Anthony Robbins once said in one of his recordings, what will happen if you keep doing something over and over and over and over and over again, year after year after year after year? What's going to happen? You're going to get really good at it.
Exactly. What do they say? 10,000 hours of doing something, you technically become, I'm going to say technically, because
an expert?
An expert, right? Because especially if you do it constantly, just like you said, you're like, trust me, I got 10 hours worth.
I think I'm officially an expert then.
I'm pretty sure, if I think correctly, between going to the events, posting you post at least every day, if anything. And if there's a day I don't see you, I'm like, oh, hi, hello.
I know, it's true. You literally be like,
like, hi, hello, hi. What's happening? I didn't see anything.
Right. No, and it's good. And the thing is, the good thing about that actually is what it tells me is that I've done such a good job of being in that habit of doing it that people would notice a change in habit. That means they're looking forward to it. That means they find value in it, whether it's that it makes them smile, whether it's that they're actually getting some information that they can apply right now or information that they can reference later. This is a good thing.
Exactly. And then you at least know that people care about you.
Yes. That's all love.
Exactly. If there's no love, don't worry, there's self-love.
Right? Yes.
Right?
No,
and
absolutely.
Also, because I know that you want to have a Sharon Fletcher's foundation, of course. Are there any other avenues that you have coming up that you can kind of tell?
So yes, I should say that to complement or along with, so what I've taken from my experiences with the Blacks Inspire platform, self-taught social media, and as well during the pandemic, I really had to pivot because of course things were closed and I couldn't be at the event. So I really acquired a lot of skills behind the scenes. I understand the algorithms really well. I'm very active on TikTok, Instagram. I use WhatsApp. As you know, I use WhatsApp like a social media platform before it was bought over by Facebook. And I would update my WhatsApp status very frequently to let people know what I was doing. I had done some affiliate marketing where I was showing people how I take care of my hair. People would say like, I love the look and how do you do it? And I thought, well, I'll show them. And what's interesting is I don't think people realize that I knew how to do this stuff myself. I do know how to put on my own makeup and I do know how to do my own hair. And so I would show them, and in doing those tutorials, do some affiliate marketing with some Black-owned businesses. And that was really exciting. And I perfected editing. I don't love it. Would love to partner with someone who is an editor. I like knowing how to do it. And I think it's great to know how to do the many facets required for your work. And I will happily be paying to delegate because it's a better use of my energy to do the things and be in my lane, as opposed to, you know, like the pandemic was a good time for me to go through my learning curve and all of that good stuff. But back to business, time is money. So yes, everybody do their thing, be in their lane, be in their happy place. So now I've launched Sharon Fletcher Consulting, Inc. I mean, as recently as last week, I incorporated, got my business bank account open, got my business credit card. So I wasn't kidding when I said we'll be having 6- and 7-figure conversations over a meal.
And I'm glad you said that. Hold, I need you to rewind because you said you have a new business.
Yes.
And as soon as you open up the business, you got a business bank account.
Oh, absolutely. Because what I realized is whether I'm taking, let's say, Uber to be at an event to, you know, film, to highlight that event, any expenses related to the business, I need to keep them separate. It's going to make it easier on my accountant and the people who are doing my taxes. And that way I don't miss out on any, you know, opportunities tax-wise. You know, if there's anything I'm going to take away from my time working for the government, and I guess I didn't mention which sector of government, but if what I'm saying now hints to it, and I'm not speaking on behalf of any particular sector of government, but I'm saying I'm taking away that knowledge around, some knowledge I acquired around taxes and the best way to leverage the system, the Canadian tax system that we're in. It's important to learn it. Don't be intimidated by it. And if you don't understand it, hire someone who does. Save yourself time and money. When you're playing at this level, and if you're going to get into business, then get into business and be prepared to invest and spend the money on things like this. Don't be coming to people with little dege crumpled up receipts and asking and expecting them to spend all this time that you do not want to pay them for their extra time sorting through your mess, your hot mess. So
I wish I knew.
Say it.
I wish you knew. I wish I knew you were gonna say it, so I could have kept my composure.
You're a hot mess. You know what I mean? I mean, honestly. So yeah, I mean, again, in this girl where I'm pulling up my big girl panties and I gotta be out here playing full out. It's important to have myself in order. I'm only going to protect and save myself. And if I'm expending this amount of energy and really banking on myself and risking at this level on myself to take care of myself fully financially, then I got to have the right tools and things in place. Like, I'm not playing around. Don't let this cutie smile and my humor fool you. I'm a serious lady. I don't play with the shmoney. I don't mess with this money. No, I don't.
I love it. So ladies and gentlemen, Sharon, you gave so many gems, and you know I'm going to talk to you afterwards.
We're going to partner. We're going to talk about how we deliver this important message to the folks and get them to leverage you and your skills and abilities, because during the pandemic, there was so much money flowing. Large corporations in the world just getting on and understanding the importance of anti-Black racism and putting an end to it. And if your books and records, and if you were not set up properly, you could not participate. You could not sit at the table and feast. No grants for you, no microloans for you at little to no interest rate, nada. So you gotta set up and set yourself up right, and then no company be upset with anybody, because if you're not set up, they, you're not in a position to fully partake at the feast, at the table.
That is very true. We all want to sit at that table. So we have to be organized, focused, consistent. And I'm trying to and try not to be Paul.
We can't be Paul and Bruk. So so if there's somebody who doesn't understand the Caribbean slang of Bruk, you understand Paul. We don't want to be in either one of those categories.
Right? We're trying to get to the riches, right? Yeah. One day at a time. And oh, I should ask you, which darn it. I wish I remember so you remember the level of wealth. Is there a particular one that you remember that you were trying to aim for? Because there was rich, mini rich.
Yeah. I definitely, speak it into existence, right? Because words are powerful. And again, this is where the confidence and the self-love and the trust in one's own ability. I think that the other day, I'm answering your question. The other day, I did an exercise because I was part of it was called a 5-day Airbnb challenge, where I was learning about this income stream of having Airbnbs. Part of the exercise, the coach asked the people enrolled to go to their dream home and call up the realtor, visit it, walk through it. And we had to do a video of ourselves doing it, because it was not only just going there and visualizing it and making it real for you, how that penetrates into your subconscious. And it was also, for me, I think the power of executing on something that you're supposed to do. It was so important to finish the homework, because it's not for him. He's not like a teacher. It's for you to be your word and to manifest. So when I did that, my mom was like, why are you walking through the condo and showing everybody on social media and blah, 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 and what if, and a lot of fear-based things, because, in our parents' generation, if you don't succeed, then, people in your local town or whatever, they'll want to embarrass you and throw it in your face, right?
That's true.
I said, Mommy, whoever is watching me and thinking whatever, how is that really going to impact me?
True.
Right? Like, I don't know what they're thinking. And if they can't stop my money, I really don't care what they think. I'm going to walk through that condo, because I love a condo, girl. I love a condo by the water. And so to answer your question, I want to be a multi-millionaire.
Nice.
And I want to afford a condo by the water, like for the months, the 2 digga months that we get summer in Toronto. Okay, it's 4. So the 4 months that we get spring and summer like weather in Toronto, I aspire to be, living down by the water.
Nice.
And it takes money to do that.
But sorry to cut you off, from what I'm hearing and everything, I believe in you. I want to say, I believe in you, because I do remember seeing the condo. I was like, you want to be over there, so? We live really close to the lake.
I know.
It's like, I want a condo downtown. That's what I mean. Like, I'm like, you know what? Who am I to stop you from your dreams? And you're going to hit it. So I was like, Cam, shut up.
So let me tell you the other piece. The reason why it's a condo by the water, because you would think it's so close to the water, it's going to be freezing cold in the winter. I don't plan to be here in the winter. I am retired from a 9 to 5. Yeah. I plan to snowbird. So when you see me doing videos, when it's cold and snowy outside here, I plan to be in Jamaica. So
Wait.
that's my plan that, you know, I'm actually working towards making that a reality, to be able to toggle between here and someplace warm. Because the other thing that came out of the pandemic is that whole working from home. We're all used to meeting virtually and having Zoom meetings. That's our new life. Google Hangout, Zoom, webinars, whatever the case may be. That's our new normal. So why couldn't I be in Jamaica meeting with my client, going over the social media strategy? You know, I have Canva Pro. I post for my clients. I'll fill the calendar with all the content that was created.
Yeah.
It was phenomenal. Nice. I was really happy to discover that I was still able to serve my clients, and that they were, most importantly, pleased with the service. And the odd meeting we had, the crickets in the background. So that's one thing I would say, keep yourself on mute if you're somewhere tropical and your clients are, or it's not, because they'll be like, is that crickets right here?
Sound. Wow, what's that?
Crickets?
Crickets here in the winter.
And when it's not the crickets, then it's, you know, you gotta love the locals. Like everybody's driving by and you're hearing the reggae blasting and the dance. So I'm just like muting, you know. My neighbors are noisy. So yeah. So again, speaking it into existence, you know, some would say, don't put this out there and, you know, I'll have egg on my face if it doesn't happen. No, I won't. But it is going to happen. I'm going to make it happen. I've given myself no option for it not to happen. Now, what it looks like. And here's the beauty of being open to possibilities.
Yes.
Once upon a time, if you had told me I'd be retired at 49, before 50, if you had told me I'd be retired before 50, I said no way. And especially if you told me to be retired in Canada and not be like a multi-millionaire, I'd be like, that's not even possible. What quality of life can you have? But I'll tell you that one could consider living in another part of the world where the cost of living isn't quite the same. You could be living somewhere with a great climate, and you're not stuck anywhere. No decision has to be written in stone. You have the power to change your mind. You have the power to try something and then pivot, because it's learning. It's not failing, it's learning, it's discovering. Maybe that works for you, maybe it doesn't work for you. So this mindset that I have now, I didn't think like that before.
Yeah.
In my 9-to-5 mindset. My 9-to-5 mindset was very closed and very limited and more linear. And I found that as I've developed the entrepreneurial side of myself, it is so much more open to possibilities and what it could look like. I don't have to be a billionaire to be able to snowbird somewhere.
True.
And I don't have to be 65 to retire. And I say retire from doing things that I don't like. That's what I'm retired from doing anything I don't really like doing.
Exactly.
I'm not retired from working, but I'm retired from not working smart.
Yes. And I told this to someone the other day, like, it's better to work smart than work hard, because we get burnt out, tired, popped down, everything. But when you learn how to work smart, and when you become that multimillionaire, you know you're going to be working smart, because you have the systems and all that great stuff, and you'd be like,
now I can spend my time on other things.
Like,
right?
Feels good with the
water in a wine glass. Oh, lastly, as you say about working smart versus hard, the other thing I discovered, because I toiled with this too, is the idea of what is working hard. I will say that nowadays, especially when you're a smaller business, many times you are a one-man or a one-woman show. I would say that when you're doing what you love, you're working hard, but it doesn't feel like hard, arduous, burdensome, drain your soul work. True. You understand? So you work hard, but it doesn't feel like hard work, because you're not working against your alignment. when you're working and your work is aligned with your purpose and your gift and your talents, that even when you have learning curves, you're able to sustain the dips and the valleys of your business and some challenges that come your way because you love it. It's different. But when you don't love what you're doing and you're really just being a slave to a paycheck due to limiting beliefs, due to maybe not having people supporting you, that, you know, you have the skills and abilities to be successful. When you're living that way, then everything you're doing feels hard.
Yeah, that's true.
You know, I think, you know, I would like to say you work hard because you're managing a podcast, you're serving your clients, you're doing both social media, which in itself it's like a full-time job, along with, you know, taking care of your clients and doing this education work for all of us. That's some hard work. It is Saturday afternoon, it's evening, it's beautiful outside, it's 7 o'clock on a Saturday. When I worked for the government, I didn't work on weekends. I worked Monday to Friday, 7:30 to 3:30. As an entrepreneur, I work all the time. However, I love it. It fuels me. It doesn't drain me. In fact, I have to find a way to put a hard stop so I can stop and do a different form of, you know, feeding my spirit. But it doesn't feel like arduous work. It's not draining me. It's fortifying me.
Nice.
And that's paying me.
Well, we are servicing folks and they're pleasing them in a way where it provides income or money and all this stuff. So and at the same time, we're able to use that income to invest in ourselves still, or invest in other assets to keep it growing and all that good stuff. Because shucks, there ain't no sense working so hard and then you don't see any results afterwards. You're like, it's hard work for, right?
That's right.
So I'm glad I'm so fortunate that you took the time to bless the stage.
I'm so honored that you invited me. I mean, when I
already knew I was gonna invite you long time.
No, but it's such a beautiful thing because when we look back to where we first met, and we were both, for all intents and purposes, starting out in our field of choice here, and to think, look at us, big time interviewing podcast.
And I'm not editing this. You will hear my laughters and everything.
So when I guess we're coming to the end, but I want to give just a few tips and tricks. Just because these things pain me, and as someone who's in social media marketing, and I love our community, I love our people, I love small businesses. Small businesses are really the lifeblood and force of a community, and when they don't do well, we all feel it and don't do well. You know, so economic power is such an important thing, and so when one is first starting out on a budget, and they cannot afford traditional marketing. And yes, word of mouth is good. But after your church auntie and your grandmother and your parents and your sister and your brother has bought from you, we have to expand. And the way we expand is with marketing. You know, that's why many businesses that we see and love that open up and then we don't see them after a year or two because you've gone to your immediate network, and of course they love you and they're going to support you, especially if what you're doing is good, but you got to expand. And so social media marketing is that leveling playing field for all. And so please just get started doing something and leverage a smartphone. The way smartphones are made nowadays, like the cameras in them are phenomenal. The sound quality is phenomenal. So when you are doing a video, please have great lighting. I wish I could show you. So you see, I have that light, but I actually have a light in front that's behind my webcam.
Yes.
And that's what's giving me my glow up that you see right here. So excellent lighting. And I don't know if I can put this, I have a microphone, right? So whether it's a lapel mic, but have good sound quality. Sound quality is actually more important than visual, but I'm a fan of videos. I think it conveys the message the best. And when you're using your phone.
Yes.
if you have a selfie stick or if you're using your hand, please tilt it towards you. That angle is going to elongate your face. It's more flattering. When people have it straight like this, your face looks like Bradam. I don't like it. It doesn't look good. Sometimes it's scary. You're holding it like this and you're looking. I see people like talking down to this. It's the most unattractive angle. Right? True. It's just the most, looking down while you're talking in the video. Never do it. Your arm is tired. Please, on Amazon, get a little stand. They have stands with selfie lights in them. Sometimes they have selfie sticks that double as a stand.
Yeah.
Just invest in it, because you are going to be doing some form of social media. Anyways, even if you hire me, I'm going to teach you how to fish, not just feed you the fish. And you need, at basic, you'll need a decent selfie light and a stand to make the amount of videos that you would need to, just to share little tidbits. It doesn't have to be too time consuming. But yes, I wanted to tell people that please hold angled towards you like this. Am I showing it well?
And I'm like
forward. Oh, for people who are listening, people who are listening, angle, the top portion of your phone is towards you. The bottom portion is out. And when you're looking, look at the little light where your camera should be, and speak.
Depending on your phone.
Speak as if you're speaking to one person, but know that you're speaking to many. And if you do a Facebook Live, there is a feature there where you can actually turn on a light. So even if you don't have a selfie light, Facebook encourages people, wants them to do Facebook Live so much that there's it looks like a little, it looks like a little tool. Like when you hit live at the bottom, it looks almost like a little tool. And if you tap there is something that looks like a little sunshine. Tap on that and it brightens the screen.
Okay. Especially at nighttime.
Yes. So please turn that on before you do. I've seen people be like, I had such a great time. And it's like, I can't see you. I can't see you. Can't see your cute outfit. I don't know what is happening over there. And it gets frustrating. And then the people tune out and they're not going to watch. So I just want to give people those little tips. And your WhatsApp. Oh, sorry. WhatsApp.
No. Just the WhatsApp. Yeah, actually, I want to hear this WhatsApp one.
So with social media, with technology, play around with it. Be like a child. Play around with it. You're not going to break it. And explore. Through exploration, I discovered that WhatsApp, you could update your WhatsApp status and send messages about what you're doing for the week in your business, because not everybody gets on social media or checks it frequently. But what do people usually have with them all the time is their phone. And the people who are on your WhatsApp are your direct access to your contacts. So if somebody doesn't check their email frequently, and if someone doesn't like to go on Facebook or LinkedIn or Instagram or tickety talk and tweet, what they will see is your WhatsApp status. And I know some people don't like WhatsApp. There's Telegram, there's some other ones, but I like about WhatsApp, like I said, is I use it and update it like another form of social media, and everybody gets touched. No one is there's no one untouched with the information and the updates.
That's true. That's a good one. All right, because it depends, because anyone that's watching or listening and they're on my WhatsApp, there's days when I'm just like, barely gonna post anything, or I do 1,000 posts and they're like, Camille, I just can't. I'm like, well, whoever did pay attention, I appreciate you.
Yeah, no,
and I know who's watching, especially if you leave a comment. I appreciate them and all that great stuff. And how can people find you? Because I'm going to put your contact information in the description. It's already there. I've been typing at the same time.
Right. Yeah. So as you heard, so this is like almost like a soft launch of sorts, in that, literally as of last week, Sharon Fletcher Consulting Inc. is open and ready for business. So you can contact me by email to sfletch72@gmail.com. Right. And through social media platforms, because I like to encourage people to go on social media. Many times I have people in their Instagram, they go into the messages and they find me at Sharon_Fletch. and they message me there.
Yes.
In Facebook Messenger, you'll find me Sharon Fletcher, and you can send me messages there. So you can hit me up in the DMs, hit me up by email, and I will get back to you within 72 hours.
Ooh, yes. I need to say that one.
Like you. And I mean, of course, people can contact me through my Blacks Inspire platforms if they've already been doing that, but I'm still getting all of my funnels and systems in place for Sharon Fletcher Consulting, Inc.
And I wrote it in the comments as well. So anyone that's watching will see the description. Anyone that's listening will also get that information. So make sure you guys follow her and make sure you like, subscribe.
Follow me. Follow me. Follow me.
I was going to sing another song, but I like that one better.
Hit your girl up at sfletch72@gmail.com.
She have lovely radio voice, by the way.
Assisting and supporting and serving all of you to the best of my ability.
Of course. And Sharon, once again, thank you. It was lovely and all that good stuff. And you know, even though Andre isn't here, I still represent him because without him, this wouldn't be going on as well.
Flipping floss in the house.
Right? So I just gotta give him a shout out. So next time, folks, you know, make sure you like, subscribe, share with a friend. Anyone that's listening, please, please, please listen to this again because Sharon just gave you a lot of gems, especially with social media.
Yes.
Right?
Did I drop the gems? I hope I did. I hope I served and provided some valuable information. Thank you so much. I'm so grateful that you and Andre have done this together, this platform. We need as many voices sharing our stories and sharing valuable information from the community to the community. Nothing about us without us. So I thank you so much. I appreciate it. I enjoyed the time, just flew by. Thank you so much.
Right?
Cheers to you. Continued success for you and Andre. May you continue to serve the community in a very big way.
Thank you, Sharon. And on that note, folks,
bye for now.